Welcome back to this Rift Let's Play. You're Sambo, Seraphim, and joining us as always, covering up those fine dual-wielding nipples, Tallahassee. How are you this evening, my friend?
I'm alright, just one day I would like you to introduce me properly instead of saying, have a look at his tits.
But you know what, you must be used to that.
Just one day.
Just in real life. You know, folks, it's like that. I mean, you know what it's like when you're a beautiful person. It's a curse. You know, Tallahassee gets this all the time. He gets men and women swooning over him in real life. I guess he just wants a break. Is that why you come here to play these games, so you can just be a normal average-looking Joe in here? And I'm just exacerbating that by you know, bringing attention to your fine-looking nipples. Is that what it's about?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Well, anyway, you are looking fine in your armour, as are the rest of our crew. And of course, folks, welcome to this episode. If you joined us in the last episode, you'll remember that we're here in this instance, the Foul Cascade. And of course, we've made it. There we go. You can see on the map, we've made it halfway through, and we're carrying on with our fine crew here. Of course, from the Seraphim Guild, we've got Dub, the Ironclad here, our Dwarven Warrior Tank, who joins us again in voice chat. How are you this evening, Dub?
I'm very well.
Nice to have you along, and thank you very much once again. And joining us again as well is Prosthetic here, who is what's Disaster Piece 1, I believe, is the YouTube user. You guys might know, you've seen them comment a number of times on our videos. Welcome to you. And of course, Duskalicious, great name there, Duskalicious, our very offensive Dwarven rogue here, also from last week. So guys, just having a quick recap, you can see we've made our way down. I've still got some quests here where we've got to collect 2 of 4 what are they, Earthstone residues, so I figure we've still got that to go, and we've got to get some pieces of Elsbeth's plan. But we've done alright so far. We've had a couple of deaths. Why would that be, by the way? Because we were just trying to think about Duskalicious is very squishy by the looks of things. Is that just simply because he's a lower level, that it's very easy for him to get sort of one-shotted by some of the mobs, or is there something we could be doing better?
Yeah, well, most of the blame will be on me, because I'm the tank, and it's my job to keep the mobs off him. But yes, it doesn't help that he's a few levels lower than what the zone's designed for.
Yeah, and it looks to me as well, I mean, I'm not inspecting him here, but he's obviously wearing, what's that, leather or cloth or leather or something? He's obviously not wearing any kind of mail or plate, I'd imagine.
Yeah, he'll be wearing leather.
Yep, there we go. In fact, you're absolutely right. Look at that, all leather. So, yeah, now, the spec that you're running, by the way, Dub, is that actually a tanking spec? Or are you dual specking? And if so, what do you have 2? Are you normally DPS, or is tank your main spec on this character?
This is a spec that's kind of designed a bit all round.
Right.
It's primarily a tank spec. I'm just checking. All 3 souls are defensive souls.
Right.
They're all designed for tanking, but it can put out a little bit of damage as well.
Yeah. Well, in fact, if we have a look, folks, you might remember we've recently got ourselves here the Simple Meter, which is one of the add-ons, a new addition, of course, and functionality to Rift the game. You're able to add add-ons now, which is great. You can see here we've still got this meter up from our first half of this run, and actually, interestingly enough, W are 311 DPS, and the rest of us are below there. But again, I'd say that that's an artifact of the fact that you're basically 10 levels above us as well, I'd imagine. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah. And Tallahassee, we talked about your spec very quickly last week, but we forgot to actually ask, what are you running at the moment? What is your actual build in terms of the 3 trees that you're running, and which one's your primary one?
For this particular build, it's Paragon, Riftblade and Champion, with
Right.
Paragon being the primary build.
Right, and so for those of us too who aren't familiar with the terms in Rift, who are, let's say, you know, more familiar with WoW type terms, what is a Paragon like? What's its closest approximation to a generic archetype? Is it a Paladin? Is it a...
Probably, no, I was going to say vanilla Fury Warrior.
Ah, okay. Fury Warrior. All right, that makes a lot of sense. And when you're running with us, when we're just questing and we're not in an instance like this, is that the spec you're running as well, or do you swap it up for when it's just the two of us?
When it's just us two, I have one that is Reaver Paladin Champion.
Right, and...
Sorry, no, Reaver Paladin Warlord.
Right, so that's obviously got a smattering of self... Well, actually, what's the major difference there? What is that obviously going from group to more solo? Is it going to give you more DPS, more survivability, some backup heals? What's its major advantage with your secondary spec there?
It's really the survivability, and also with Reaver you get dots, so you can dot up a few different ones, and there's also the self heals as well.
Right. Okay. Right. So that makes perfect sense.
That's actually the spec I'm using for tanking now.
Ah.
We're very close to it, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. Right. That makes sense. All right. Well, I guess without further ado, we should carry on this instance. There we go, folks. You can see we're about halfway through. So, we've just recently taken out a couple of bosses. Do you remember how many? I can see up there. There's a Countess Surin Skinobar. Is that the next boss, little mini boss for us?
Yes, that is.
Alright, so I'm sure once we get there, if there are any strange mechanics, you'll be able to explain them to us like you did last week. Alright, there we go. In the meantime, let's make sure that Dub has... where are we? There he goes. Make sure, of course, that
actually, before you do that...
Oh, synthesis, yep.
Before you do that, I was just thinking that for this next boss, it might be more value if you go Life-Giving Veil, because there's going to be a bit of raid damage going on.
Okay, do you want me to switch to that now?
May as well. We've only got these 4 mobs on the left-hand side to get rid of before then. Alright,
there we go. Alright, so the big difference between that, by the way, folks, and here's a test of my poor knowledge, but Lifebound Veil, of course, is normally for healing the tank, I guess, is the easiest way of putting it, whereas Life-Giving, Dub, correct me if I'm wrong, is kind of mass party heals. Would that be right?
Yeah, that's right.
There we go. Actually got something right for once. Alright, so wish us luck, folks. The other thing, of course, that happened in our last episode, you might remember, was that Tallahassee, congratulations to him, leveled up, you can see there, to level 32, and so did I. So we managed to gain ourselves another level, which is great. And I'd imagine, too, that possibly in this instance we may see a level from Duskalicious or Prosthetic as well, which would be lovely. Alright.
I'm sort of surprised he hasn't leveled already.
Me?
No, Duskalicious.
Oh. Yeah, pretty sure he was saying that he was pretty close to leveling. Anyhow, now, what is the go with this woman? Is there anything special that we need to know?
Okay, well, kind of, and kind of not really. She's basically going to... The main thing that's going to surprise everyone is she's going to run around... Well, she's going to teleport around to random people in the group.
Right.
And attacking them. There's not going to be anything I can do about that.
Right.
She's got a couple of abilities, one of which I'll be trying to take care of by interrupting it, which is a long cast.
Right.
And some other stuff, and some just basic attacks. But mostly, if everyone just stands kind of spread out and attacks, then that will hopefully
suffice?
go smooth. This one's much simpler than the last one.
Okay, and that last one, folks, you might remember, was rather complex, and I failed miserably. If you haven't seen it, go back to the previous episode and have a look. But in the meantime, let's see if we can take this one down. All right, ready when you are. All right, so we'll spread out a little bit then. Right, the other thing you may remember from last week, folks, is we were talking to Dub about some ideal rotations, all to do with the life-type damage, of course, and we sort of figured out that it was a good idea to possibly open with Nature's Touch, and just a reminder there that Nature's Touch actually causes... Oh, actually, there's a question for... Oh, there she goes, teleporting around. Wow, she does that fast. Dub, Nature's Damage specifies Lifebound Veil. which is interesting. Now we've switched to life-giving veil. So does that mean it's not going to work as well?
It means it'll do the same healing as all the other life spells. You just miss out on the extra little attack.
Okay.
Failed you.
Extra little heal.
Yeah, heal. Yeah.
It's in that tooltip.
All right, look at that. They are nice for us. They are very nice for us. So we'll greed on those as well. And good luck to whoever gets those. Oh, it was me. There we go, folks. So you can see we've increased our armor, intelligence, wisdom, and endurance by a good number of points there. That's exactly what we need. All done. Now we may even be able to rune break. No, we can't. They're too high. All right. Now I'm still seeing a collect earthstone residue. There's apparently one. Where are they? Oh, they're up ahead.
We should have the one. Yeah, we should have the ones that we've already gone past.
Yeah,
but there's two more up ahead.
Right, and of course sometimes that mini-map can be a bit confusing, folks, because of course it doesn't remove the icons from the mini-map from the ones we've already collected, so it can trip you up. It's definitely tripped me up. This is a great looking instance too, and obviously in the theme of the area that we're currently running in, the good old Scarlet Gorge, as we like to call it. Of course, Scarlet Gorge is what it is called. That's funny, isn't it? Scarlet Gorge. It's just like people who call rogues rouges. Nothing bugs me more, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a raid boss many months in your future, known as Herald, who's the Herald Goroth, something like that, and he's known as Harold.
Oh, Harold, right, of course. Of course.
Is the guy we're looking at on Saturday, right? Or Sunday?
If everything goes spectacularly, possibly. We're actually trying to fight or complete the Greenscale Blight raid before we go for him. He is actually considered the hardest raid boss before Hammernell, which is the second tier of 20-man raids. So
wow,
it's quite a challenge.
So this is what you guys are doing this weekend?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, not if everything goes spectacularly, we'll get to Herald.
Right.
Otherwise, we've got two more bosses before him that we'd love to take down.
Right, and of course,
you did
folks,
alright with Plutonus.
if
we'll
no.
we should be very quick on Plutonus this weekend. We had a lot of practice.
So for those of you at home who are thinking, what on earth is Dub talking about if we're lucky? This is called progression raiding, and if you've played WoW, you'll be familiar with it. But of course, it basically relies on you getting through components of the instance, I guess is the best way of putting it. And so the progress is actually normally gated, which means you have to take down one before you take down the next one. And obviously, guilds measure their the amount that they've got through by the bosses, I guess. So that's why, of course, it's called a progression raiding system, because you progress slowly through the raid. Now, by the way, while you guys are both on here, of course, raid content isn't something we're going to see anytime soon here. What are the locks like for raids? And just to explain, and maybe explain to our viewers if they don't know what a raid lock is, but do they have them in Rift, and what sort of timers are they on?
Yeah, they're almost all on weeks. On a 1 week.
Right, 1 week. So what that means, folks, of course, is basically when you engage a boss. Is it? I'm not sure what it's like here. Is it when you engage a boss or defeat a boss that a lock comes on? By the way,
once you engage, or once you defeat the first boss, then the instance is set.
Right. So it's locked to you at that point. Gosh,
yeah, sorry,
that's okay.
concentrating on not dying.
Lots of spiders. So, folks, here, what that will generally mean is that the instance will be locked to your group, and it'll be locked in its state in terms of its progress as well. And by the way, Dub or Tallahassee, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never run a raid here in Rift, but I'm going by most other games. And then, of course, you generally have a set amount of time in order to complete the raid before it actually resets. And sounds to me like in this case that would be a week. So is that the same sort of mechanics here as every other game?
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
Yeah. So Tallahassee, from your perspective, and of course you're slowly climbing your way up through the raiding, I guess, how are you finding it compared to WoW? And obviously, I mean, you know, there's going to be a guild difference, of course, and I'm sure that Seraphim are fantastic. By the way, congratulations to you, Dusk. There we go. He leveled up. What's he gone to? He's leveled up to level 27. Well done. So yeah, how are you finding it in terms of a play experience? Is it any different to WoW? Any better or worse?
For me, it's a lot better.
Right. And is that
mainly because of the environment?
Right. Oh, hang on. Do you mean the guild environment?
There's a lot less pressure. Yeah, right. There's a lot less pressure to. I don't want to say perform because we're all expected to perform, but it's just a little bit more relaxing than what I'm used to.
Yeah. And I think that says a lot for the guild. And again, folks, if you're interested in applying for membership with Seraphim, please have a look at the link that's provided in the description below this video. But we are always saying that these guys, whilst they do take their raiding seriously, it's not serious to the point where you're going to ever get kicked out of the guild because you're not, not wanting to raid, or that's not your cup of tea necessarily. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Dub. You seem like you're a what would you call it? A judicious raiding guild, but not a overly fanatic one where you're going to be all anal about people being in the raids. Would that be right?
Yeah, no. Like Tallahassee just said, if someone's raiding with us, then they're taking it seriously.
Of course.
But that's for the time that we're raiding. There's most of the people have been hardcore raiders before, a lot of them in WoW, and have, well, maybe grown up is the wrong word, but they've moved past that in their life.
Of course. Of course. So there you go, folks.
And so we have people...
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. We have people who almost exclusively PvP. We have people who almost exclusively hunt for artifacts. And we have our raiding guys.
Right, there you go. So it seems to me whatever the flavour of a game style that you like, folks, there's probably going to be a catering for it in the Seraphim Guild there. So for goodness sake, come along and apply. And by the way, here I am, we're always advertising the guild, Dub. We presume that you're accepting members at all times, or you're not full or anything, are you?
No, I don't know if there's a full limit, but we haven't hit it yet. We do get people applying, and quite a few from Let's Play.
Good.
So we're always happy to hear from them and welcome them.
There you go. There you go, folks. And again, you don't have to be Australian. And another common misconception when you guys, a lot of you, send me personal messages as well saying, hey, I'd really love to join your guild, but I'm not in Australia and you're on an Australian server. It doesn't matter. In fact, the server farm that this server sits on is actually located in the US. So ironically, if you're from the US, you'll actually get a better play experience than we will here, even though it's an Oceanic designated server. So don't let that stop you. All right, so we've got Krasimir Barinov. Oh, goodness me, can't even say the name. How on earth are we going to kill her? So, what's the go here? Is there any special mechanics that we have to pay attention to?
So, basically what's going to happen is that he's going to spawn 3 waves of ads.
Right.
A lot of little ones, a few medium ones, and 2 big ones. After they all die, then we'll move in and kill him. Basically, if you're ranged, you can just kind of hang back a bit. There's a knockback that happens in lay range.
Okay.
pretty sure is conal in front of him, so I'll just be standing in the usual tank spot.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. There you go, guys. You're lucky you're getting all this free expert advice for doing these runs yourself there. Although you're welcome to send checks payable to Seraphim, care of Australia, if you like. How's that? All right, ready when you are.
Welcome, guests. Allow my servants to tend to your bones.
Right, I'm running into you because for some reason they came to me. I don't know why, but anyway.
That was the value of my expert advice coming out right there.
That's alright, sometimes the AoE from... what was it? It's Necrosis, I think it is, not Necrosis. One of the tank ones that doesn't hit every...
Ah, right. But it's weird. I mean, they're zoning in for me before I've even cast a spell, and I'm at the back of the group. It's a bit interesting. Are they actually programmed to go for squishies or something?
But they just don't like you.
Ah.
They're all from Sydney.
Yeah. You heard it here first, folks. Here we go. The Sydney-Melbourne war starts up once again.
Arise, my servants, and bring me their corpses.
Good lord. Right, yep, so they're definitely... Look at that. They're going for me again. Absolutely not casting anything there. It's because I'm so pretty.
It's possible that there's some time that I can't taunt them in, that they have to get to a certain point. That happens in a few fights.
Like
I think it is more likely that I'm just not doing it right.
No, I somehow doubt that. I think you're right. They're probably programmed to move to a specific set of coordinates or something like that.
Death claims all flesh, and now I shall have.
All right, so here we go, folks. Taking down Krasimir Baryanov. And of course, you can see the Lifebound Veil there streaming off, doing its job nicely. Just topping things up. Oh, just managed to get a quick heal onto Duskalicious there. Was actually not bad on my behalf for once.
Don't get carried away here, mate.
I know. I did something right. Out of 56 episodes, you think that would happen at least once, and there you go, it did, and the boss is down, well, the mini-boss anyway. And what do we got there? Oh, another piece of cloth, look at that, and that's a lot better than what we've got on. And of course, folks, you can always control-click and have a look at what it looks like. We'll greed on that, we don't want to need, just in case Duskalicious might want it as well. And, oh, look at that, lucky us.
Isn't gonna want it.
Yeah, we got it. So we'll drop that on as well. So we're getting a nice couple of blues there. Oh, wait a minute. That's actually going on my wardrobe. That's very stupid. I don't want it on my wardrobe. There we go. Alright, so how are we going? It looks like we've wound our way around. So how many more bosses do we actually have in this? It looks like we've just got the Queen to go, is it perhaps?
Yep, that's right.
Oh, and there we go. You can see the rift up in the distance there. So I'd imagine that's where the Queen hangs out.
So we have to have you around more often. Means I don't have to do any talking.
Shush you. Look at that. Of course, the reason we're not talking as much is because we're concentrating fully on the action at hand. We're doing very well now, I thought. And it's a great looking instance too.
We could always...
Yeah.
Me and Tallahassee we could always start our own podcast.
Well, you could. That's the other thing. Actually, if you did that, you know what? I'd never see him again, I think. he'd be, oh my god, finally I can play with someone who knows exactly what they're doing.
Actually, Dubid, I have been meaning to ask you if you'd like to go through some Chronicles.
What are Chronicles?
Oh, yeah.
Are they the new... You
Sounds
guys,
good.
well, you guys have to explain that to me. Are they the new... they're a new feature in the game, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're designed for well, really they're designed for new level 50s.
Right. So fresh level 50, and what is it? Is it like a mini raid or something?
Yeah, it's a mini version. It's a 1 or 2 people version of the first 2 20-man raids. Greenscale's Blight and... Oh no, sorry. Greenscale's Blight is the first tier of 20-man raids, and then Haranel, which is the top tier at the moment.
Ah, okay. Now
And it basically takes you through the story.
Right, so
those
in other words...
raids without you having to bring 20 people.
Right, so you can actually get a taste of that content without actually having to go through the process, of actually organising 20 individual souls to be in the same spot at the same time and be coordinated, which of course is, as they always say, the real boss of a raid is the organisation of it, not the actual NPC boss itself. So being able to see that content without having to go through all of that hassle, and especially I guess if it's a slightly lower tuned difficulty, that's a great idea on behalf of Trion there, being able to actually let you see all that. Are there rewards from those Chronicles, and if so, I'm assuming that they'll be of a lesser tier?
Yeah, they're significantly less than the groups, the 5-man groups, which
Right.
is where you would start.
But however, I'd imagine if you came, you said that they were for really fresh level 50s. If you came straight in to that from the questing world as a level 50, is that gear going to be a step up from what you've got, like your greens, if you pardon the term, but your stereotypical greens that you've just come off from questing, is that Chronicle gear going to be better?
It'll depend on the gear. In some places, yes.
Right.
The thing that's kind of made it a bit more, or a bit difficult to say definitively, is that they've introduced new gear that you gain from doing rifts and invasions, which obviously a single player can do, which you buy with the rewards from that. And I haven't looked at that particularly closely.
Right. And P.S. we've got some ugly, brutish, two-headed abomination coming up behind us, which I'm sure you saw. There he goes.
I hadn't, but I'll pretend I did.
Now, Dub, your DPS is currently hovering at around the 600 mark. Huge.
Well, that's cheating because they overpulled.
Actually, it's just evened out to 400, actually. And Tallahassee, very respectable, 215. And mine is 114, which is actually better than I expected.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Bad for me.
Considering Dub's usually doing, I think, what was it, around 2k damage or something?
Is that right?
Oh, I'm pushing 2k, yes.
Wow.
Which is, the guys who are more advanced than us doing a fair bit more, but it's quite satisfying.
Absolutely. Absolutely it would be. Alright, so look at this, folks. Will you look at that? Is that just incredible looking at what we've got? The waterfall in the background here. We've got these creepy tentacle porn, as Tallahassee likes to refer to it. We've got another wandering ogre back there, by the way, just in case that matters. I don't know if it does.
We could do it for experience.
Yeah. Might as well, seeing as we're here.
Cool.
Whoops, and there we are. We're almost out of time as well. Now, while we take down this ugly son of a gun, I notice that there appears to be something inside that bubbly shield behind us now. Is that actually the Queen in there?
Yes, it is.
Right, so it doesn't look like she's going to be particularly attractive.
She's not going to win any beauty contests, no.
Reminds me...
Although, to be fair,
yeah.
I've never judged a spider's beauty contest, so...
Oh, is she a
she might
spider?
be attractive.
Oh, okay, I can't tell that from here. Now, also, before we move on, what are these death idols, and should we be attacking them later now, or leaving them alone? What's the go?
Yeah, so if you see the Rift event thing should have turned up on your screen.
Oh, yes, it has.
Normally is. And so we're getting told to destroy the idols, but we'll probably just talk about what's going to happen once we do all that first.
Alright.
So, ready? So basically the Queen's going to be released from her big bubble, and she's going to follow me around. I'm going to be kiting her backwards because she casts poison on the ground, and if I don't, I'll get hurt. She also spawns baby spiders on people in the raid, or in the group. So they're going to get cast on someone, appear, and then run into me, hopefully.
Okay.
Again, if I'm doing my job.
Yeah. Alright. Well, as they say, sounds like cake, which means we're probably all going to die.
Yeah. So
you might die.
I'll just check where everyone else is going to sit.
Alright. So the key there, folks, of course, is that Dub is going to kite this fellow around and then stack in the middle. I see. It's just telling the rest of the group, of course, because they can't hear us. And just in case you don't know what kiting is when normally a tank, or in some cases a ranged DPS player in a group, will actually basically taunt the target and run away and actually keep that target moving around. So they'll generally run around the outside of a zone or an area, or around the edge of a building or something like that, and that's called kiting, because it's basically like you're running with a like a mob on a leash behind you, if you like, and of course the idea is not to get hit. So that's what kiting is, and you generally do that to keep, just like Dub said, keep people out of goo or flame or fire on the floor, or to keep a boss occupied if you're having to take down two bosses at once. Alright, here we go. So you can see Dub's explaining to the group there just where she's standing. Here we go. Makes the heals a little easier. Alright. I think we've got it sussed. So obviously getting rid of these death idols is going to take down the shield.
Yep.
We'll pass on those.
I admit it's quite a bit different in the 50 version. So.
Oh really?
These death idols become optional. There's an achievement for killing them, but they actually buff the boss, and it makes it a lot more difficult for certain people who don't bother.
Oh, I see. Right, and hence why there's an achievement. Yikes! Alright, so you can see the goo on the ground there, obviously. Oh, what happened there? She impregnated me! Right, so that's the little spiders that you're talking about? Whoa!
Yep.
Alright, so is there anything I can do about that?
Not about her impregnating you.
Yep.
This is a truly amateurish attempt to this. Yeah, no, the impregnation is automatic. There's nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
It's just my job to get the spiders off you.
Right.
she has a very small hitbox.
Yeah, that's what I noticed as well. And folks, you can see, hopefully on the YouTube video there, you can see that we've got the green and purple stuff on the ground, which is the poison that Dub was talking about before. Now, I've also noticed, for some reason, I've lost a skill off my hotbar as well. It always helps. Not. There we go, ruin. Put that back and lock the spell bar, might help. Alright, there's a Gnar hatchling over here. I'm running into you. Hopefully you can pick it up.
So you can see I've gotten completely off track, and we basically made it through that because Prosthetic here went very well. I'm sure you did too.
Well, however we did it, there you go, folks. Congratulations to us. We actually made it. We've got to clean up these ads. And you can see there, of course, we got ourselves a... oh, by the way, that's something I keep forgetting to bring up. If you hit Y, the Y button when you're in the game, you can see you bring up this raid window here as well. But our achievements, which I think are H, there we go. Look at that, Foul Cascade. Defeat all the bosses in Foul Cascade. Get ourselves 10 achievement points there. Congratulations to us. Here we go, and we get ourselves some rewards here as well. We've got, of course, having to click that icon up the top, which is very easy to forget about if you're me. And we get ourselves, look at that, some moon silk leggings, which are green, but they are actually, yeah, they're not quite as good as what we've got on, but we'll take them all the same. We've got an earth wand there, we'll greed on that, and we've got some ichor stained hand wraps. So is this fair to say, a very cloth-friendly instance? By this, unless it's just been luck, but does it seem to generally drop cloth?
I'd have to plead ignorance at this level.
Yeah.
Probably just luck. They tend to have a fairly good spread.
Well, we have been very lucky because every drop has been cloth so far, so happy about that.
Yeah, shut up, Sam.
Yeah, well, you know. Sometimes luck has to go my way, a bit of lady luck. Now, you can see everyone's running back. Where are they running back to? They're running back to the end here. You can see Duskalicious is already there, and that's what we do before we wrap up the episode. And oh, look, we've got ourselves a friend. Why are we doing that? It's because, of course, we need to hand in our quests, which we might as well do, seeing as we're here.
Looks like Dusk has already handed them in.
Yes, you're right. He says they're good XP for handing the quest in. We like the sound of that. Nice, he's saying he's already about halfway through to the next level. Let's see what happens to us. We are currently 40% of the way through level 32. What do we got here? A moon silk sash. That is, yes, that's very nice actually. We'll take that, thanks very much. Oh, took us straight through to 45%, and we got ourselves an achievement there. Lawman reach decorated with the quarry rats. And by the way, if you rewind the video and have a look, you'll see that we had quarry rats rep pouring in right throughout that. That was the rep that was coming in as we were killing the mobs here. So obviously that's the rep that you get from being in this instance, and we managed to get an achievement for repping up with them. And then finally, here we go, Ivor Coppertooth orders from Elspeth, and we get a moon silk hood, which is very cool looking. So we may have to actually put some of these in our costume slots, because we've actually seemed to have got a moon silk, well, it's not a true set, but they're all the same name, which seems pretty cool. So they might all look quite cool. We'll have to equip them and check them out, and we're definitely going to take this one as well. You can see a lot more armor, more intelligence, more wisdom and endurance, although we lose some spell power there, but we'll absolutely take them anyhow. So there we go. So that's it, folks. Sorry that we're a little bit over time, but I think you'll agree it was well worth it. Lots of great information coming out of the episode there, with much thanks to you, Dub. Thank you once again for coming along and for putting up with our shenanigans and giving us all that great information. And of course, we look forward to you joining us in a future episode so you can take us through some soul tree building, if you wouldn't mind.
Definitely look forward to it.
Great stuff. And a reminder too, folks, that if you wish to join the Seraphim Guild, rather than me playing here, come and play with the guys. Put yourself in this exact spot, actually playing with some decent players who are not only great guys and gals, but actually know what they're doing, unlike me. Make sure you hit up the application, and of course the link is down in the description below. So my thanks also to Prosthetic, or Disaster Piece 1 from the YouTube videos, him commenting there a lot and giving us our support on our channel. We'd like to wave to you and say thank you very, very much for coming along. We very much appreciate that. And of course the same to Dusk. Where's Dusk gone? Did he zone out already? Where's he gone? Or am I blind?
Yes, he has.
Oh, he's zoned out.
He's a dwarf.
He's a dwarf. I thought I might have stood on him or something.
They're hard to find.
Dusk, if you're watching, thank you very, very much for your help. And of course, to Tallahassee for putting up with us week in, week out. As always, we appreciate your time too, mate. And certainly hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, it's extremely hard work.
It is with me, and I hope you enjoyed actually playing with people who know what they're doing for once. So there you go. On behalf of myself, Sambo, Tallahassee, and Slim, who's not with us at the moment. We've decided to put him to bed for a while because he's a naughty boy, keeps on aggroing mobs. It's nothing to do with his owner. It's us saying, hope you're having a great day wherever in the world you are. I look forward to seeing you next time in the next episode. Until then, take care, and bye-bye.